Hello and welcome to your favorite cricket program, Cotton Board. On this show, we catch up with former stars, former players, administrators, future stars, and all local news members. Our aim on the program is to try and bridge the gap between the players and the fans who are the main custodians of the game. Today, however, we have a fan favorite in Christopher Mpofu, the Magwegwe Express. Christopher, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Tina. It's good to be here.
Very much so. I'm very happy that you are here because prior to getting you on the show, you had a very busy schedule. Yeah. Luckily, the team that you are playing for nowadays don't really like playing games in 4 days, do they?
No, we do our best. It's just that luck hasn't been on our side, but I'm quite happy with how we have performed comparing to last season in terms of 4-day cricket.
Excellent. So your transition into the role that you've taken up with the Rhinos at the moment. Yeah. Was that something that you always had in mind in your playing career, or that's something that just was brought on your table and you took the opportunity?
I can say it was brought onto the table, and I felt like it was a good thing to do. You know, there's some things that you might have not thought of, but then you realize later in life is something that is actually good. So yeah, what I was given, I'm really enjoying it and I'm cherishing it.
And obviously you are a bowler with lots of experience, yeah, and you have played the game at the highest level. Besides your playing experience, did you do any extra preparation for the role that you're currently holding? Yeah,
that's one thing I love helping out. Like in terms of youngsters, you know, it's not only fast bowlers, but even, you know, with the knowledge, the more you play cricket, doesn't even spinners, there are some things that you can generally see that you can help on, you know. So it's something that I've started a long time ago in terms of helping each other guys in the team. So, and also not only the guys that I'm playing with, but around Zimbabwe. So it's one thing, and I've been pretty blessed that, you know, I've actually found youngsters that want to be helped. I've actually got messages, you know, someone sending me a message telling me that I've got this kind of a problem, what can I do, and all. So it's a blessing, you know, to have such an opportunity.
Obviously, those kids, they come with very complex problems.
Yeah.
Some of them with mixed actions, some of them who can't even roll an arm,
yeah,
some of them who can bowl to save their own life, you know. Did you study any specific courses that help you in dealing with those problems?
I've had quite a few things in terms of that, but, you know, there's something that I was told in terms of bowling. You know, there's people will always be different. You find someone who bowls like Malinga, you find someone who bowls like Chris Mpofu. So for me, I learned one thing, that you just have to, you know, look at the positive of that action and don't try and be, you know, change them and to be someone that they're not. So yeah, I try to perfect what is good in that person, and you know, we work with that. So that's one thing I try by all means not to change a lot in terms of, because there's always something good about that person. They might not be, you know, really tall, but there's still something that comes out of that. There's some will be short, so there's always a lot of things to work on with that. But, you know, I've been helped in that way. So whatever I have, I use the same experience that I got also as a youngster.
Obviously, now you are with Rhinos.
Yes.
You know, you grew up donning the blue and white of Tuskers.
Yeah.
Don't you have weird moments when you play against them or when you see them playing?
Good question. You know, I grew up that side. It's been actually, when I got told that I was coming to Rhinos, I thought it was really high time. I felt like I had been there for quite a long time. So it wasn't a hard transition to have. So yes, you know, home is always home, but, you know, I've been blessed also to come to Rhinos, where the technical stuff is absolutely amazing. The people that I work with, Chawas, Mufaro, Njabulo, and also the players, you know, the way they welcomed me. For me, I felt like I'm still at home. You know, it's the love that I get at Rhinos is absolutely amazing.
And you speak of Njabulo.
Yes.
Njabulo Nkube is a youngster to you.
Yeah.
And currently is operating at a higher office of head coach than you.
Yes.
You're assisting him.
Yes.
Doesn't that feel a little bit weird?
Not really. You know, I'm one of those people, I give respect to someone that when they deserve it, it doesn't matter the age. You know, when someone has been given that role, you have to, you know, take it. Because also, even as a coach, I'm still learning a lot, not only to coach, but as a player. So I really enjoy being around him, and I've learned a lot through him. And the good part is that he's someone also who's willing, whatever ideas that I have, he takes them. So to tell the truth, I'm not really worried about that. He's been welcoming. Even the time when I came back, I wasn't around when I came back. He's been really good to me.
I want to talk about when you are actually on the field.
Yeah.
And you are playing against your old team.
Yeah.
Because I know that's something that you like doing. You like giving it to the betters.
Yeah.
Rightly so.
Yes.
How do they take it, and how does that make you feel, having to try and do something that is out of character and to your old teammates?
For me, I know I used to like to give it a bet, but when I played the 2 games that I played with them, it was a little bit hard in terms of, verbally, but I try by all means in terms of how I go about because there's a chance that you might try and use the words more and lose the focus in terms of how. So I try in those games that I played.
Yeah.
I said I'm just gonna let the ball do the talking.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. You actually auto correct your mind also and say you don't want to end up losing the focus, concentrating on giving it to them. So I try by all means to let the ball do the talking, and it actually went well. Yeah.
So the whispers around, and I listen to a lot of things, and I read a lot. The whisper around is you actually hated cricket at some point. You didn't love cricket. What happened?
The thing, I started watching cricket, I think 1997 and from 1996 when I was in grade 6 and 97. I remember India came to Zimbabwe in 1998. I used to love watching cartoons and all, and on ZBC you only see cricket. That was Test cricket every day.
Cricket from morning to
from
evening.
morning till evening.
And then you miss your cartoons.
Yeah, and so for me, that made it even worse. I'm like, what kind of a game that doesn't end? And you're talking about Test cricket that takes the whole day. For me, that made me to hate it, so even more. And then there was the World Cup that came in '99.
Yeah.
I was like, because also of the clothing that they started, because I hadn't watched the one day, I had only seen the Test cricket. Yeah, so when the '99 World Cup came, so I like, let me just take a moment and see what happens with those things. And I actually learned cricket on my own. No one said, this, first thing that I could see was the LBW, but I didn't know, when they say this is the middle. Every time I would see that someone getting hit on the pad, and they give it out. For me, that's how I knew that if someone hits those things behind, that it's out. So that's how I learned, and I started realizing this was actually an interesting game. So I remember I've got my friend, he passed on a few years ago, that we had our own planks, so we made our own cricket bats, and I remember having problems with my mother because we would take the lemons, those that were still coming out, and we use those as cricket balls. So so that's how. And then I started realizing, something that I can try. And then at school, I remember when I was in Form 2, they were saying anyone wants to play cricket, and I didn't want. And then in Form 3, that's when I was like, let me actually join them. And I realized for me, bowling just. I would never even tell someone that how it happened. It just ran through and just happened. And from that time, I actually became insane over the game, and I became addicted, I can say.
It's actually an interesting story, and I'm shedding a little bit here, But fast forward a couple of years, 99, you were literally just learning to play the game on your own, and then obviously age group cricket. Did you get involved in any?
Yeah, if I can say it, some people would not even understand, but for me, things moved so fast. I remember in Form 3 when I started playing it, and then in Form 4, that's when I made the team. I remember the first game that I played, even when I could bowl, the first game that I played, that was in Form 3, the first game that I played as a wicket keeper because there was no one who could... I was just one of those guys that had to fill the team, so there was no wicket keeper. So the only role that I could do there was to, and I remember the gloves that we're using were not the best. So I had to, and I batted number 11. But for me, it was an amazing experience because I just wanted to be in the team.
You wanted to be playing,
and then from there, Form 4, that's when I actually, started being one of the bosses because the big guys that were leaving me out of the team when I was in Form 3, they had left school. So I became the captain of the team, the school team, and that's when there was one of the under-19 trials in Bulawayo. I didn't make that Matland team, But I continued to go practice with them.
Yeah.
I remember the coach was Andre Hoffman. Maybe some of you might know. He played for Matland for a long time.
Yeah.
He was the coach of our under-19. So I continued coming to bowl
practices,
against the other
the
guys.
selected teams, yeah.
And I was actually, just giving them nightmares. And I always tell people that guy actually made me to be where I am, because he said, if this guy is not in the team, I'm definitely not going to coach the team. Not a lot of people understand, but if someone can sacrifice and say that if this... So I actually made the team. I remember we're playing Marsh, and we're playing, there was a Zimbabwe select that was... I remember I played, we're playing at CBC.
Yeah.
And that's when I had finished Form 4. That was the next year.
Yeah.
I remember Phil Simmons coming to that place at CBC. Yeah. And I took 4 wickets first innings and took 5 wickets second innings. And, everyone, they came and say there's a guy who's
new kid on the block.
Yeah, so everything just started moving fast. And the same year in 2004, I was called to come to the academy in Harare, CFX Academy. Yeah.
Brilliant. So that experience of coming from a place where cricket wasn't your first love.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you are in an academy full of professionals who are doing this thing as a career option.
Yeah.
Did that open your eyes? Did that change your mind?
For me, it didn't actually change me a lot, because I just, things were just happening. Sometimes when you look at it and say, that wasn't me, sometimes that's where I put God in it. I don't understand how it moved, but everything was just happening automatically, because even the guys that have been playing the game for a long time, I was actually much ahead of them in terms of, doing things of bowling and all these things. So for me, it didn't change me a lot. And, the good part is that the people that I found there also, the love that I found made it even easier, to do my things.
But by that time, who was the head of the academy?
It was Phil Simmons, but he was also coaching the Zimbabwe under-19.
Okay.
He was helping out in the under-19 and the national team. That's when he got selected he was made to be the national team captain. And then we were left with Pomi Mbangwa and Kit Tabengwa. Those are the guys that were helping out at the academy.
And obviously you knew Keith, from Bulawayo.
Yes.
How did that help your transition into the academy and actually setting yourself as one of the top bowlers in that team? Because if we want to fast forward a couple of years later, you got a call just after the Rebel saga.
What had happened there, just before that Rebel saga, I actually got selected to go to Australia, to the academy. I was there for 3 months, which really made things even much better for me. I remember I was being coached by Damien Fleming, the former Australian fast bowler.
Yes.
So they actually got a lot to learn. And when I came back, we're still talking about 2004 and how fast things were moving. I remember I came back in November and I made my first class debut, the proper 4 days. I remember playing against Mountaineers, Manicaland at that time, and I did well. And as soon as I was done with that, I remember there were 1 days that we played here. I remember taking 6 wickets against Marsh here. And then there was Namibia that came in the same year, and I did well against Namibia with the A side. And I remember on the 27th, it was on the 26th, I didn't actually know that I was going to make the Zim Nation. That's the time when they wanted me to make the Zimbabwe under-19, that I was never given a chance. So for me, I was told that I'm going to be with the under-19s to go to South Africa. And then the 26th, I was told that you're not going anywhere. You've made the squad to play against England on the 28th. Yeah.
How was that feeling? Because obviously you are thinking, I was struggling to make the Matebeleland under-19s, and then all of a sudden you are on a plane to Australia. Fast forward a couple of months, you are being told, no, those under-19 boys are way below your stage of progress. You are going to play the real deal. How was that feeling?
To tell the truth, the feeling is, when you're a youngster also, the blood is just rushing. But I was really nervous. I remember I got told that on the 27th, that was on my birthday, which I always tell people it's the best birthday present ever that I've ever had in my life. And that's why my first game, I was told I'm playing on the 28th. That's why I've always put a number 28 on my back. Yeah, so it's always been those two numbers have always been one of those numbers that I think I call them the lucky numbers. And
Brilliant. So you ended up getting that call and you played
England.
You played England. You did all right?
I did very well. I didn't take a wicket, but I went for 20. I remember I went for about 28. I remember the first 6 overs, I think I went for about 8 runs. The only person I remember, I think it was Michael Vaughan, who started, as a youngster, who started hitting me. But I still did very well on my debut. I felt like it was one of the best that I've had. Yeah.
So in the period where you're actually now a national team player, okay, and you are a black kid from the suburbs, did you have any pressure of you being out there as a kid coming from an underprivileged society, being out there playing for the national team? Did you have any added pressure about you being in that team?
When I started, I didn't actually feel that much pressure. The pressure, it starts happening when because people are expecting a lot out of you. When I started playing against England, all those games, I didn't feel, when I tell people, I actually did.
You were just having fun.
I was just having fun. I just, and also the people that I was working with. I remember Phil Simmons, he used to be one of the real good managers. Yes, they call him a coach, but for me, he was more of a manager. He could motivate you as a youngster, to do well. So, when you've got the backing up, it's amazing when you've got someone who backs you up, what you can achieve.
And then obviously you as a player and the community that you're coming from, slowly but surely started becoming a role model. And we also started knowing that there is Christopher Mpofu, and you became a role model. Did that change in stature and status in society give you any added pressure when you went on the field?
Yeah, you actually get I remember the first game when we ended up going to Bulawayo to play our third ODI. The whole school came to watch me, and when everyone started hearing that there's Chris playing for Zimbabwe, and he came from Agogo, and at school not a lot of people used to understand cricket, and having all those people coming to watch you, there was actually pressure, and I thank God that the pressure didn't get to me that much, because I did well. When you do well, it actually helps out. But yeah, it actually.
Obviously, though, yes, you didn't have pressure, but there was a way that you handled the difficulties, obviously, that you were facing that time. What are some of those ways that you handled those pressures?
For me, like I said, I had a coach who put faith in me.
Yes.
So one thing that he said, there are two things that you can do. You can get hit, or you can just give your best, and whatever happens, as long as if you know that you've given your best. When someone says that, as long as if you've given your best, all I could do there was to just give my best. And thank God it actually, as I did give my best, everything went accordingly.
Accordingly it went. Viewers, you are watching your favorite cricket program, Cotton Board, and we are here with Christopher Mpofu, the Magwegwe Express, telling us about his journey through cricket. We are going to come back in the next segment with more of Christopher Mpofu. Hello and welcome back to the second segment of your favorite cricket program, Cotton Board. I am Tinashe Chimbamba and I'm here with the Magwegwe Express, Christopher Mpofu. Christopher, welcome back.
Thanks, man.
Obviously that break was a little bit shorter than we expected. I want to talk more about your role at the Rhinos at the moment. Obviously you gave us a brief explanation of what you are doing. But I want to get into the nuts and bolts of what your role is at Rhinos franchise. Okay.
Before they call me a coach, I'm more of a player.
Okay.
I'm still they call me a player coach, but yeah. So like I said, I consider it, as much as I am a player, I do help out a lot of guys in the team as a coach also. And also it's not only to help out them, I'm also helping myself, because in the longer term is something like you asked early on, that that question of the role that I've got. So it's something that also as I go on, I need to I want to take up on on coaching, whether it could be consultant or whatever that comes my way, but that includes anything that includes bowling. So yeah, that's my role. So I'm more of a player, but helping out in coaching.
And you, as I know you, you love playing.
Yeah,
you love playing. You love playing so much. And the whispers around is
Yeah.
sometimes you don't take the decisions that you are sitting out very well.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
after you have been told that,
Yeah.
Chris, today you're not taking the field,
Yeah.
you still have to wear a straight face and
Yeah.
help out the
Yeah.
bowlers that are in the team.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Sometimes at the end of the day, decisions have to be made.
Yeah.
I have to also think that one day I will be the one making decisions for someone. So,
Yes.
so I actually take the decisions that the team make. And also with the people that I have, I respect Chow as he's one person that I will know that whatever decision that he's making it for the good of the team. So yeah, it's always hard. You always want to play, but I've finally accepted also that time moves,
Yes,
and
yeah,
you have to understand that. And also in that decision, we've been playing 4 days. In decision of me saying 4 days I can
Sit out. A little
sit
bit.
out. I really have accepted that, and it's a good thing to see youngsters also taking the role and doing well. And as much as I want to play, it's good for me to see someone doing well. Someone need to give me an opportunity to be where I am.
Yeah.
So I need to give someone also an opportunity to be what they want to be.
Exactly. And you talk about youngsters
Yeah.
doing well and stuff like that.
Yeah.
At Rhinos,
Yeah.
do we have young fast bowlers who are up and coming that we can expect to be knocking on the doors of national sides?
There will be quite a few youngsters that unfortunately, we've got another youngster who's injured at the moment. And then we've got other few youngsters from Kwekwe that you will see them very soon, but it's a working process.
Any names?
We've got Kuda. They call him Kuda. He's really fast. He played most of our games in the one-day games in at Takas, the one-day competition that we won last season.
Okay.
So he's one person that Kuda Macheka. Yeah, a lot of guys. You'll see him more often. I bet you he's one youngster that can run in all day. Unfortunately, an injury has put him out. But I know he's one youngster that I believe he'll really do well for us as Rhinos.
And as a fast bowler,
Yeah.
what do you see
Yeah.
in terms of Zimbabwe as a country?
Yeah.
What do you see? Do you think we have got what it takes to produce some really nasty fast bowlers that we can back to go out there and really turn matches around for Zimbabwe?
For me, I still believe we do have a lot of youngsters. I hope and I believe that the guys that were given, the opportunity to scout around, they're going to do that job. Because I will tell you right now, I think about a month ago, there's a team that came, I think it's from Mpofu. They came to play at the academy that side in Bulawayo.
Yes.
Against one of the Bulawayo teams. There's a youngster that I saw, I think he's about 17. I actually felt like if this youngster had been seen, this youngster could have made Zimanda 19 that will made the World Cup. Because for me, literally, he's the quickest that I've seen in those youngsters.
Really?
Yeah, so, I believe that if people can, move around, then not only go to these big schools, go to these schools that not a lot of people recognize.
Yeah.
You will find some talent, but it needs a talent that is also going to be nurtured. You need people that will definitely, take a fall. For me, I'm one person, whether I'm part of the guys who are recognizing talent or not.
Yeah.
That youngster, I believe I'm definitely gonna.
You're going to chase him.
I'm gonna chase him. If it means if no one, I'm gonna make sure that he's from here. He's from Harare.
Okay.
But I said to myself, if you can find two or three of these youngsters who can let the ball go through like he's doing and running the way he's doing. It was only a 2020, but what I saw there was
You had some real gas.
And real wills that you say, that's
interesting.
That's not only a 17-year-old. You think maybe he's older than that, but I was really impressed. So I think there is more to, yeah.
You speak about Zimbabwe as a country.
Yeah.
We have struggled over the years.
Yes.
Obviously, at the moment, we've got Msarabani, who's doing very good, and he's bowling a decent pace, sometimes higher 130s.
Yeah.
But as a test-playing country, we have struggled to consistently produce players that are bowling mid-140s, higher 140s, that can unsettle batters. Yeah. What do you think is the problem in the way that we are grooming fast bowlers?
It's one of those things that it's not only. I think it's one thing that we need to also start making wickets that will encourage fast bowlers. You know, it's not easy for a fast bowler to come and say a proper flat and you're trying to bowl a bouncer and it's only coming to the knees. I'm not saying,
Yeah.
you know, but I feel like,
The
you
wickets
know,
that we are
in
making.
Australia, when you look at them, they create wickets that even when Pat Cummins, I know he's naturally fast.
Yes.
But there's some things that encourage you in life. When you say, I'm not saying you want wickets that will just
A
jump
little bit of
everywhere.
movement, a little bit of
but
carry.
you want a wicket that, you know, even as much as it's encouraging the batter, it's also giving the
bowler
bowler something. You know, the last wicket that I saw here, for me, I enjoyed that because there was, you know, I saw Chatara running in. You know, I hadn't seen him, you know, running in a long time like that. But for me, I said, if someone sees a guy like Chats doing that, he might have not been bowling 140, but I enjoyed that because you know, he's one of those people. He smells, but when he see that there is something out of the wicket,
Yes.
he will do. So you want something that also, when a bowler sees that this wicket has got something, he definitely, you know, his tail is up, and so that's something that, you know, I want to see in Zimbabwe. Wickets that favor, you know, but I'm not saying move around it, but a wicket that bounces, that a bowler is encouraged to you know, to
run
bend,
in
yeah,
and-
to run in all day,
and bend his back.
and bend his back.
You went to Australia.
Yeah.
Obviously, you saw some different techniques on how bowlers are groomed, and there was some very skillful and very talented former players.
Yeah.
Fleming, for example, you spoke about.
Yeah.
What is it that they tell their kids? Because every other day you see a fast bowler coming out of Australia and is blowing batters away.
Yeah.
You know, and we want that as well for Zimbabwe, and we are, from a personal point of view, as a wicket keeper, it's very difficult for you to be keeping against a new ball and already you are doing a long barrier. You know, like you say, you want to see a wicket that encourages a little bit of fast bowling. What do they tell their bowlers? What do they tell their young kids? Is it just a culture, or is it something that they are actually deliberately doing?
One thing that I saw, and I still see most of, not only in Australia, that, you know, when you've got a fast bowler, as much as, yes, we've got line and length, when you see raw talent, raw fast bowler, I've seen most of them, they don't tell him to worry about the length that he's going to bowl. Just say,
Run in.
just let the ball go as fast as you can. You know, sometimes I feel like here there's a time where, you know, a youngster is also under pressure that his number is thinking that, okay, if I start, you know, if I try to bowl too fast, I'll lose my length and I'm out of the team. So I believe we need, you know, that thing where we say, let the youngster just be himself, you know, and also they don't change a lot in terms of action that side. Yes, there's some things like, you know, to prevent injuries. They'll find ways, you know, to help you, that they polish up what is good in you. You know, if we see that there is something good in you, they don't try and change it. They just, you know, smoothen those sharp edges, you know. That's all that they do. Yeah.
You had a period when you got injured.
Yeah.
And then that injury, when it finally healed, you didn't quite come back as the same bowler.
Yeah.
What do you think would have happened better for you to be able to carry on? Because we see Pat Cummins getting injured every day, and then all of a sudden he comes back, he's more rejuvenated, he's bowling even faster than he was before. You know, that happened to a couple of bowlers, and it also happened to you. You spoke about Chatara. Before his injury, he was real fast, and he was blowing away batters at test level at one day internationals for Zimbabwe. And then the same thing happened to you. And then you lost a couple of kilometers. What do you think would have happened better in that process for you to come back the same bowler or even better?
Also, I believe it's a mental thing. You know, when you get injured, for me it was the back. So when I came back, you know, there's some things that it's amazing what the mind can do and what the mind can say also to you. You know, I still felt like I still had that injury. You know, so what I tried by all means, you know, to try and close it, but it was really hard for me to. It actually took a year for me to, you know, say that I think I'm really strong. So it's a mental state where you need to fight it in the mind and say, you know, it's an injury, it's done and gone. So yeah, it's something that was hard to do, but you know, I'm glad that at the end of the day you work on it, and I became better on it. Yeah.
As a player, obviously you want to play on and on and on.
Yeah.
And then there was a point during the pandemic where you were in and out of sides,
Yeah.
and there was a period actually where there wasn't even your name in the head for selection.
Yeah.
Did that contribute in you calling time on your international career?
Not really. Like you said, I love my game. It's one of those things that for the past I can say past 5 to 7 years, in life I've said nothing that comes my way can bring me down. I've said to myself, it's other people's thoughts. If I believe that, I'm still good enough, I'll continue to to do what I love the most. You'll be told you're not in the team, but for me, then I remember I wasn't in the team 2018 World Cup qualifiers, and when I came back, I remember going to South Africa 2019. I came back stronger than ever before. So it's one of those things. It's a mind thing, and believing in yourself. Because once you start believing in what people say, it's easy to break down. So yeah, you get those moments. So for me, for the past 5 years, I said whatever happens, it is life. God always has other things for me. Even when I wasn't in the team, there's something good that was happening on the side. So I haven't been worried about that. Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought God into the conversation. And there was a period in your life where you were just like any other boy.
Yeah.
You loved your drinks. You loved your party. like who doesn't?
Who does?
And then there was that turnaround in your faith.
Yeah.
Can you take me through what was the real turning point as to why you decided that I'm going to cut down this, I'm going to cut down that, and I'm going to follow this path?
Yeah. Life teaches you as a youngster. For me, there's a lot of things that I did that actually don't regret, but I actually take them as a learning step.
Curve,
So things happened, and when I got injured, I remember in 2012, it actually put me in the right path where you start seeing, going for a year, you start seeing whether you've got friends, people, you start not getting phone calls, you start not getting messages, you start, a lot of things start happening where you feel you are lonely and all these things, and the injury is not healing, and, and I looked at it and said, there is the drink, and, even when those things are happening, you even start drinking even more.
Yeah.
There's some other things that, like I'll say now, not a lot of people knew that I had also a problem of drinking, that I had to do other things that without people knowing. I did a rehab without anyone knowing. It's a secret that is, I'm glad it's coming out. I'm happy with that. I did a rehab. I remember when I was injured, I went to South Africa. Not a lot, and not actually anyone knew about that. I went to stay in South Africa with my friend. I did that for a month, and then when I came back, that was in 2014. When God says it's time, actually no one said I should. Even when I did my rehab, I never said I was quitting. I just wanted to bring it down, to tone it down.
Yeah.
But when it was time for me to say I'm quitting, it just happened automatically. A week came, 2 weeks came, and I'm still thinking maybe I might feel like I need one or two drinks, and the next thing you see that the year has passed by, and like you said, my faith started growing, and I'm one person. Things have been happening in an amazing way that surely it can only be God, and I've stuck my faith in God, and things have been moving in an amazing way. Whether I'm in the team or I'm not in the team, things get better every day. So there's nothing I can ask for more.
The period where you started drinking a little bit more, and the drinks started affecting what you were doing. Did you feel like you were struggling from specific mental health issues?
Yeah, like I said, some other things that people might not. I felt like there's a bit of anxiety in me. It's something that people wouldn't know, but I felt like there's something that I was told even when I was in South Africa, that I had bipolar. Something, other people would tell you that's a disease for people in England and all these things. It's something, that's why it was hard for me, to come out and say it. For me, I'm always someone who's always enjoying laughing, and I try, but so a lot of people will never see that, and that's one thing I will encourage in life, that, don't ever see people laughing and think everything is okay. Take your time also,
because actually, like I said earlier on, you are a fan favorite. One of the reasons why the fans love you is the fact that when you go out there,
Yeah.
you enjoy and
Yeah.
you connect with
Yeah.
so many parts of the crowd.
Yeah.
Even your oppositions love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult for people like like me or any other fan or even the coaching staff to
Yeah.
realize that
Yeah.
Bobby might be feeling
Yeah.
a little bit down here, or he
Yeah.
might be going through something.
Yeah.
So it's quite important that you
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
took that step and went out and
Yeah.
did rehab.
Yeah.
But do you think that there is actually a pandemic of mental weaknesses in and around sports?
A lot of it, and like I said, it's always hard for you to go out and tell someone that I've got this problem. For me, I always thank God that, and when I did it on my own. Not anyone knew anything about that, and I had to come back. Everything went accordingly, but I wish that in life there could be people could be open, to, and also how you receive people. I feel like sometimes as a society we don't receive each other the way we suppose. Because even I might think of, let me go tell Tina about the problem, and Tina might be that same person who goes to tell the other person, and so it's also a bit hard in terms of expressing yourself. But I think there is a lot of it we need to, even programs. I feel like there should be programs, that can help out sports people, not only in cricket but in a lot of sports.
Okay,
Yeah.
before we go on a break, I want to quickly ask about your relationship with the fans.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Was that something that you wanted to do deliberately, or that something that was just in you? You were a person for people.
I can say it's I'm one of those people that I love to interact with people, and the good part about having love for those people is when things are not going well, they'll still, it's easy for them to still have more support on you. But if you're one of those people that even when things are going well, you just ignore them.
Yeah.
When things really get bad, you
want the people.
you still when things get bad, if you were one of those people that was giving them much problems, it becomes even worse to you. So I'm one of those people, whether I'm playing, I'm not playing, thank God that I was taught to be humble. That's how I was brought up. When you are humble, they say God exalts you if you're humble. So that's just how I am.
There you have it, viewers. We have come to the end of another gripping session of your favorite cricket program, Cotton Board. We are here at Harare Sports Club with Christopher Mpofu, the Magwegwe Express, telling us about his life journey and how he has managed to overcome some of his problems. We will be back in a few minutes for another segment of Cotton Board. Hello, welcome back to the final segment of your favorite cricket program, Cotton Board. My name is Tinashe Chimbambo, and I'm here at Harare Sports Club with the Zimbabwe legend and fast bowler, Christopher Mpofu. Christopher, we spoke about a whole lot of things, and most of them bring good memories, most of them bring bad memories. But I want to talk about the good memories, about you donning the Zimbabwe cricket jersey.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that journey and how it felt winning away in Sri Lanka in 2017 and picking up a couple of wickets in Durban in the picking test.
Yeah, it was East London. It's East London.
Yes, and then also a couple of very, very important wins against India at home.
Yeah.
There was a whole lot of shining stars in your career.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about those.
Oh yeah, it's been a long journey, and it's been really fun. I can say, talking about the Sri Lanka series. Wow, as though that always comes to me, and it tells me that we still have an amazing talent as a nation, and not anyone gave us a chance when we went there, and seeing our guys batted there in those wickets, chasing a 300 was absolutely amazing. So yeah, it actually comes to me and makes me feel proud to be a Zimbabwean. Makes me feel proud to be part of those guys that went to that side of the world. And yeah, I did really also well. Also giving the props also to other bowlers. Just did well as a fast bowler in that side. I remember the batters, all the guys did well. I remember Hami Masakaza did well. Mire, quite a few guys did well. And yeah, talking about the one where we drew against India right here at Sports Club, I remember I took about 3 for 20 odd in 4 overs. That was the first one that we lost, the first T20. And then the one that we won took 2 wickets also which was really a good thing, against a side like India. I remember the guys like Murali Vijay, Abajan was here, quite Rohit was here. I remember it was quite a good side, and to level a game.
As it always is,
Yeah,
India always
yeah,
a good side.
whether they bring at D side, they always tough.
yeah.
So it was really amazing, to being part of that team, So it's been an amazing journey. But yeah, going back to the Pink Day test in Port Elizabeth, I meant to say, it was amazing, taking 4 wickets and having 2 big scalps. AB, what
What a player.
what a player he is, and Hashim Amla. When you talk about cricketers, you talk about when you talk about legends, of cricket. Those are the guys that you don't forget to mention, and having those guys in my pocket was really amazing for me. Yeah.
Obviously, you also played some amazing cricket,
Yeah.
and before
Yeah.
the sagas about
Yeah.
match fixing and stuff
Yeah.
like that, Hit Streak was your captain.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how he was as a captain, also as a teammate.
Leaving all these things of match fixing and all, for me as a human being, I really enjoyed being under him, not only as a captain but also as a brother. For me there's a lot that I learned. He's part of the people that made me to love the game, even when I started watching the 99 World Cup in England. So leaving all the negatives, talking about the positives, there is a lot that I learned as a bowler. So yeah, there's always a big thing that I always say, he made a huge difference for me as a bowler, So yeah, I enjoyed his captaincy, and also as a coach, there's a lot that I learned through him.
Obviously, having built those relations and all the positives that you speak about,
Yeah.
how devastated were you when you heard about his involvement in sport fixing and his involvement in match fixing?
Yeah, it's really sad. I expected much better from him, but who am I to judge at the end of the day? That's why I try by all means not to be involved in those issues. But as a youngster, I looked a lot, to him in terms of learning a lot of good things, and to hear such, it was sad, but life goes on. At the end of the day, we move on, and we learn also as human beings. We learn from such mistakes that other people do. So yeah, it was really sad, but like I said, we move on.
Yeah, of course, and before we could even forget about that,
Yeah.
one of Zimbabwe's favorite sons and a big name, and someone who has been a very big part of Zimbabwe's success in the past 15 years,
Yeah.
was also involved and lured into bookmaking.
Yeah.
What sort of emotions have you had to endure, especially for someone who you had played and donned the jersey with for a long time?
It's really sad, like I said, I'm not the one who's going to judge, but I felt like all these guys, you expected much better from them. As a cricketer, I've been approached. I thank God that I managed to overcome such situations. I was approached in all these things, but I felt like the right thing was to report, like we are always taught. So it's really sad. You would have expected something better from him.
So you said you got approached,
Yeah.
and then you immediately reported.
Yeah, I've done quite a few programs. I was also called to Dubai in Dubai to also go share my experience with those people that approached me. I was approached and I did the right thing. Like I'm always taught, to on what to do. I actually started by going to South Africa, and then I was called to the ICC side, to tell them on how it was done and all these things.
So,
Yeah.
so you feel like, on a personal note, obviously, you feel like the guys that are involved, the people we are speaking about, Brendan Taylor and Hit Streak, you thought they have all in their hands to try and get away from this?
I wouldn't know how their situation was. I know my situation. At the end of the day, I'm one of those people that believe, when you get things in those kind of ways, they always come. They always, come out at the end of the day. So for me, when I was, approached with all those things, I felt like the right thing. As I was taught, there's a guy that I called Ari De Beer from South Africa. He really helped me out in terms of that. So I always believe that once you're, in those situations, you always got a chance and a way on how to deal with that. You've got people who definitely, help you out. Like I said, when I look at it, I said, as I was approached, I could have been in the same situation if I hadn't reported all those things, you know. So I felt like I did the right things. I'm still happy that and proud of what I did. So at the end of the day, it's a decision. Every man makes his own decision. It's your bed that you make, and sometimes you have to lay on it. That's how it is. Yeah.
And to add insult to injury,
Yeah.
after the breaking of Brendan Taylor's involvement in sport fixing, there was also drugs involved. You said earlier on in the show, you said that there was a time where you struggled with mental health and drinking, and you went into rehab. Do you feel like the similar problems that you had that pushed you into drinking might have been the same problems that pushed Brendan into drug abuse?
I wouldn't say that, you know, like I said, all these things are decisions. For me, I was drinking all along, but I felt like there was a time where it was actually getting to a stage where I felt like, this is not the right thing. I made a decision, and I did the decision on my own. And I said to myself, I'm going to do this. I made the phone calls on my own to do the rehab. You know, I had a friend who was staying in South Africa. That's the only person that actually, you know, helped me out also when I got there to stay there for a month. You know, I'll go for those programs and then I come back, and it actually went perfectly. So with him on his side, I wouldn't want to, you know, say this, maybe it could have been helped. So at the end of the day, it's the decision where you can actually, you know, take a step and say, this is not good for me, or it's not good enough, you know. So yeah, those are decisions that we take.
As a national side, obviously, I know we had appointments and people like Adrian McInan dealing with the mental side of the game. Do you feel like that particular skill and that particular profession is a must-have in a changing room?
It actually works for a lot of people. That's why I said we need people who can. For me, when he came, the other things that he said, they were not on my side. My problem was totally different on how, you know, he teaches. But for other people, I still felt like some people understood him. It went really, really well. That's why I say at the end of the day, there's some things that might work for you, but don't work for me. But we still need those people who try and help out in terms of mental health. You know, for me, I think he was a little bit different in terms of what.
How he dealt with things.
in terms of mental health, I think we really do need that in a lot of sport, whether it is soccer. You know, as much we will not give you the money to help you out or whatever, but when someone comes to you and say, you know, I'm your friend, we can talk about this, you know, it really does help a lot. Yeah.
So obviously Brendan Taylor was one of the captains that you played under.
Yes.
And his streak.
Yeah.
And a couple of other.
Yeah.
So amongst all those captains, who can you say was the best captain that you played under?
Oh, like as you know me, I enjoy each and every person. I really try by all means to be as close as I can with those people. But I enjoyed being with Elton. You know, someone that maybe it's because the relationship is almost like a brother to me. So I really enjoy that. I enjoyed also being with Krima. Krima was also one person that, you know, like also I had Hami. He helped a lot. But for me, I would say the top one to be Elton.
Yes, it needs to be Elton.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. And the show will be aired very soon, and Hami and Krima will be in your inbox.
Yeah.
Chit chattering. But those are all good things. I also wanted to know, what is it that you did differently that picks him amongst the pigeons?
For me, you know, like you said, they might end up coming to me. He actually, you know, is one of those people, before you make a decision, he will say, what do you want? You know, like you know, I'm not saying they were Hami and other guys. Like I said, they're still in my top 3.
Yes,
but
definitely.
Elton did it in a much better, in a way that I love. That, you know, say, before we do this, what you think of your field set? I'll give him what I want.
Yeah.
And then he will add what he thinks. And, you know, for me, it came, and you understand why he's saying this and this. So that's why we had that vibe where, you know, we understood each other more than the other guys. Not saying the other guys were not good. Yeah. Don't take me wrong there.
Yeah, of course.
But I'll tell you, Elton, we had that vibe that I really enjoyed the most.
And speaking about vibes, you are a person of vibes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Changing room.
Yeah.
You shared changing rooms with an array of world-class players.
Yeah.
And there are people who like to keep to themselves,
Yeah.
and there are people who like to make a changing room a comfortable place for everyone.
Yeah.
Who were those people when you started playing?
I'll still say Elton for me, he made things to be, and then I'll say I had guys like Ray Price. I enjoyed, he's like, for me, that's why he wasn't a captain, but he was a brother to me. He taught me one thing that I always, taken and value for a long time. He said, whatever wicket you take, learn to celebrate. We used to have our own celebrations. He said, whatever, because you might not get the chance tomorrow to get that time to get that wicket or to play for your nation. So there's a lot that I learned, through him, and I enjoyed quite a lot through him. Yeah.
So in terms of that,
Yeah.
and the celebrations,
Yeah.
like earlier on, I alluded that you were a fan favorite.
Yeah.
You had lots of celebrations, different ones.
Yes.
Some weird,
Yeah.
some very, very basic.
Yeah.
Take me through those. Like, what would you be trying to communicate to the fans? Because obviously some of them will be really, really out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for me, celebrations, I never actually thought of them, except the one where we used to, do the fit dance with Raymond. But others, it's a moment, when you get a wicket. I remember when we were in South Africa, every time I took a wicket, I'll, open the zip and close it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when we played the test match, when I went into bed, I was asked to take them out. When Rabada started, it's a funny story that I remember. I had taken 4 wickets, and when I went into bat, I remember hearing one of the guys behind there, Tikok, saying, come on, KG, take out. It was actually morning. He said, take out AB and hash out of that pocket. So it's one of those things. It's a moment when I get the chance to do what I love. I did it with all my heart. So yeah. So that's how it is. So fans also, they start when they see that thing. You get, I remember even moving around, when you meet someone who does that you don't even know, and
remember
they
you
do the pocket thing. So for me, it's a vibe that you get. You need to have that vibe also with the fans, yeah.
And then when you went out to bat,
Yeah.
Okay. you were
Yeah.
you were. I don't want to say that.
No, you can. You're allowed. Yeah.
But ultimately,
yeah.
It was interesting for everyone when you went out to bet.
Yeah.
Either it worked out or it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of a few moomishes that you don't want to watch again.
I do want to watch them.
Because a couple of people resonate with that a lot. Even when you come out, even when you go to find leg at Castle Corner, even you come here at Centurion, there is those things that attaches you to the fans. Those runouts. Take me through them.
People will never understand when you tell them about that. And also, when that happened against New Zealand, I was betting with Bless Mawire. He actually, we're in trouble we're actually in trouble the whole game.
Yeah.
And then when he went in, he started, smashing it all over. And I remember he was just hitting. So I came in at number 11 as usual. That was my number that I was. As I made the national team, there was a number that was made for me. No one could fight against me with that number. So yeah, I went in there, and Bless was just smashing it all over. And as he hit one run, I think he hit it to super there. And then I touched the other side. People will never understand, because when you tell us, I'm one of those people, when someone does well,
you're happy.
I am very happy. People, because people always, when you start telling guys, I was so happy that my partner, that's something, but people never take that.
Yeah.
They just think that was dumb.
You were a clown.
I sound like a clown. So I just, touched the other side and ran to him, and all I remember, instead of him celebrating, like, he's pointing the other side.
You're supposed to be in your house.
So it looked, at the end of the day. But I thank God that it didn't take a month. I remember a legend, but people will not talk about that.
Yeah.
I remember a legend, Muridharan, I guess New Zealand also.
The same team.
Same team in New Zealand. Someone, I think it was Mahela, I'm not so sure. Someone actually hit a one. I think he was making his 100.
Yeah.
Got there, he touched, and just ran straight to him And he was run out the same
way.
But people are always busy talking about mine.
So you feel
I would say it's just two legends who managed to.
So you feel like it's a number 10 thing, it's a number 11 thing.
No, it's a legend thing.
Obviously, you speak about this legend,
Yeah.
and obviously we spoke about many legends.
Yeah.
Some that you played with, some that played before, and some that
Yeah.
are playing now when
Yeah.
you have hanged your boots.
Yeah.
I want to hear your
Yeah.
best Test 11 for Zimbabwe.
It's a deal.
On top of your head.
Yeah, whatever comes at the moment. I'll say Murray Goodwin, Hamilton Masakadza, Noel Johnson, the two Flowers, Histrick, Brendan Taylor. I think I'll put Chatara there. I'll put Raymond Price. How many have I got? Huh?
You are 9 now.
I'll put Chris Mpofu. Sorry to the guys that I would have forgotten. The big man, Mr. Dave Houghton.
Oh, so we've got a very better heavy team here.
We've got a serious.
So we only have you, Chatara, Krima, and Ray Price to bowl.
Yeah.
So
It's tricky.
And Stricky.
Yeah. So
okay.
So
So
it's a balanced
Stricky be your all-rounder.
Yeah, and then you have those left
two
arm spinner and the leg spinner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Decent.
Sorry to the guys that it was just a question that came so fast. So
That's
they'll
all right.
make the other team.
They'll make the other team, the ODI side.
The ODI side.
Yeah.
Wow, that's it. I'll still put the two Flowers, Noel Johnson, Brendan Taylor, Krima, Prosper, Elton, and you caught me unaware there. Myself.
I like that. I like that you're taking yourself.
I'll put Raymond Price. Chatara, I'll still put him there.
Okay.
Histrick. Yeah.
So that's
Basically.
completes your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously those are the guys that you remember from the top of your head.
Yes.
Yeah, there will be times when I'll actually ask for.
Yeah.
And
proper one when I'm sitting at home.
Of course. But Chris, you've been a wonderful guest, and I really enjoyed my time here with you.
Yeah.
The things that you have shared and a lot of the stuff that you spoke about here don't only help you, but help other people.
Yeah.
The way that you opened up about your mental health issues and how you dealt with them, I think that is quality for any young player that's out there and still playing.
Yeah.
And we've come to the end of our program.
Thank you.
Don't release yourself just yet. I'm telling you, we could do this again because it was such a fun experience. But I really enjoyed you being around. So there we have it, viewers. We are at Harare Sports Club and we are at Court and Board. We were catching up with a player that you all love, Christopher Mpofu, the Magwegwe Express. Wait, I want to ask something. Did you end up finding out who drank your juice at Kwekwe Sports Club?
I'm still looking for that. So someone said they will actually send a video.
I've never seen you angry, and that day you were actually quite pissed off.
Because I had actually kept that juice for a week.
I know a few people who might have.
So you might be one of the witnesses now.
I could. But it's unfortunate, and on a very sad note, one of the guys that might have actually drinking juice might be late. If you remember my Bong Mpofu, a player who passed away just before the end of the year. We played against him at Queens. May you so rest in peace. He was such a lovely lad. On that note, viewers, we have come to the end of our episode of Cotton Board. We thank Christopher Mpofu for joining us and Harare Sports Club to giving us the hospitality. We will see you again in our next episode. Ciao.